What's up, guys? It is Coop Dizzle here, and welcome back to episode 18 on the StreamCraft server. As you can see, it's another beautiful day here on StreamCraft, and man, I'm excited for this episode, guys. We've been working on this villager farm tower for the past 2 episodes, and today, my friends, we're going to get it done, and I think it is going to turn out really cool. So, thanks for hanging out with me today. I think that we're going to have a lot of fun today. So, let me kind of, I don't want to show that yet. Let me kind of update you on a couple of things I've done here, and we're actually going to build the shell around this thing and get it decorated here in just a couple of minutes. So we're going to get this thing looking really pretty, really fast. But first, I've been doing tons of work in between episodes trying to get ready to get this thing done. So the first thing you might notice is that I have thinned out the villagers quite a bit. I've left 1 librarian in, and I think 1 toolsmith, and I had about 11 farmers. Now I had another one, but he kind of escaped in the process of me replacing all the stone brick for glass here. But yeah, as you can see, this is now a much nicer place for these villagers. It's gone from sort of like a dungeon-esque breeding shack to more of like a penthouse villager breeder. So they have a really nice view of everything, and I think that is going really good. And I was starting, the breeder had actually slowed down quite a bit. I kind of came to another stop. So, and I was getting worried that, I don't know, they were kind of breeding in waves. And so once in a while, they'd just pop out a whole bunch of new villagers, and I was kind of worried that it was going to get out of hand. So I went ahead and knocked out these blocks down here, which means that the baby villagers can now just drop down into the water stream. And I completed this drop. Let me see. We get a little bit of a better view from over here. You can see that kind of just drops all the way down. So, oh man, I don't have any ender pearls with me. Dang it. Alright, that's cool. I kind of want to drop down here anyway. So at the end of the last episode, I mentioned that the big idea for this building is going to be to make it resemble the Gherkin in downtown London. And for those of you that don't know what the Gherkin looks like, I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of it right over on, let's say, the left side of the screen. There you go. So there you can see kind of what it looks like. Now, I haven't built anything in creative mode this time around, but I did go and study some attempts at the Gherkin in Minecraft and kind of tried to see what I could pick up from it. And then I started planning for it to see how I could make this work for the villager tower. So the first thing I started was I did this little shape on the ground. Now this shape, I kind of just wanted to iron it out and then come up here and look at it, and this will give me a good idea of what the profile of the building will look like. If we were to mirror this on the other side, we'd get the full profile, and I think that's going to turn out really nice. So basically, if you don't know what I mean, profile is how something looks from the side. So like for example, when we're standing off over there and we're looking at it, it's going to look like this, but standing up and with, you know, the actual blocks. I use slime blocks because they're really easy from down here. I guess because of the texture, it's easy to count the number of them from a distance. So I can use that as a reference while I'm building up here, which I think will really help me out. The other thing that I did was I wanted to figure out the circles. And so like I went through and I counted like what would the diameter of a circle be, you know, on the bottom level and on these bottom 7 levels, and it turned out to be, I think it was 19. So like this one right here is a quarter of a circle with a 19 diameter, and then it's all odd numbers all the way up. So like the next one up is a circle of 21. So basically, if you were to repeat this 3 more times, you would get a circle with that diameter. And again, that's just for my reference. That's to make building easier as I'm going up. Once I hit the right level, I can basically build the next circle out and just continue up. So I've got some cool reference stuff here, and I think it's going to give us a really neat looking shape. Alright, so here are some of the materials we're going to be using. Now I may need to go and get some more glass, but mostly we're going to be using a lot of quartz for sort of the, I guess you could call it some outlines of some diagonals and some diamond shapes. We're going to be using a little bit of polished andesite along with that as well, and some blue stained glass, some black stained glass. I'm only using regular glass if I need to fill in some space where I don't want villagers walking around, but for the most part this is going to be converted. I'm just going to convert it as I need it. And that's what the ink sacs and the lapis are for. And we have some carpets in the event that some quartz is left exposed. So I don't want any spawnable spaces. So I'll cover any exposed quartz, I'll cover up with some carpet. And that's pretty much it, guys. It should come out, oh hello, should come out pretty nice, but also kind of simple at the same time. So from a distance, something like this. And this is just the first 7 levels completed. And it's going to look, I think it's going to look better. It looks a little bit strange right now, but I think it's going to look a lot nicer once we get it expanded up all the way to the top of the tower. That's kind of shaky. Slime blocks are weird though sometimes. But anyway, so yeah, you can kind of get the idea of what's happening though. Basically you have two, let me get over here real quick. You have 2 diagonals of blue, like this one will continue as a diagonal up that way. And then you've got another one that continues as a diagonal up that way, and then you've got this black one over here that kind of breaks up the 2 blue diagonals. Now wherever, okay, I know where those zombies are, we'll go check on that in a second. So anyway, wherever you've got the black diagonal, rather than using the quartz, you want to use something a little bit darker, and I think that that'll be a good replica for what we have in the Gherkin. Sorry, my version is going to be called the Gherkin, by the way. And over here, we have some zombies. Leave my villagers alone. Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. No, jerk. Come on, laggy frickin' thing. Okay. Alright, last time I checked, I think there was about 18 or something in here. 20, yeah. So the villager breeder is definitely working. I don't know how many are actually in there, but it could be 20. And basically, eventually, this room down here is where you'll go to pick up villagers. The portal is going to be somewhere up against this wall, and that's where you can transport them to other areas. So, let's see. Speaking of which, I did, in between episodes, I did transport 16 of the villagers up there into the nether in that little holding cell from a couple episodes ago. So that way they are ready to go for an iron farm, which will be really good, very exciting. So anyway, but yeah, it's funny, whenever you're down here, occasionally you just see one fall straight down, and there's just a little water drop there to help them out. I still need to hook up some hoppers over here to filter into chests, because this is where all the crops are going to come from. But basically, once I get some kind of system hooked up for that, and get the storage set up, then we can design the lobby area, and basically get this thing going. In fact, I'm even tempted to get villagers into the farms before I get the storage area set up. But first, my friends, first it is epic build time. It is time to put a shell around this thing. I think the only thing that might change after this time lapse is at some point I think I'm going to have to go through and take out all this birch wood that I put in and replace it with something darker, because I think that it's already, with the quartz, it's already really bright. And I kind of want to darken it up, and one thing I can do to help with that is to replace all of the birch wood with something dark, like either oak wood or dark oak wood or spruce wood or something like that. Not oak wood, that wouldn't be dark enough. So anyway, guys, we're going to do a time lapse now of building this epic structure. I hope that you enjoy it. Well, it's done, guys. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I'm kind of bummed out because a lot of the footage that I recorded, I spent like 5 hours. This thing was so hard. I spent about 5 hours building this shell up, and for some reason, the first 4 hours of that footage, it didn't even happen. It didn't even write it. So I don't know what happened there. That's why in the time lapse we kind of skipped all the way up to the top here. There wasn't, any of building up the middle section. It's just because I don't know what happened. It said it was recording and it wasn't, I guess. So it does happen from time to time. I'm usually a little more careful to make sure that I am getting the footage, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway, guys. I've been wanting to do a time lapse to Gymnopedie No. 1 for a while, and so at least the music was nice. And I tell you what, this thing turned out really nice. I just real quick wanted to say that the village here, I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work with these glass blocks. I think that it will, because it still has direct access to sunlight, but also it might not. But I don't know. These aren't solid blocks, they're transparent blocks, but I don't know. It might not work, so I think it will. We're gonna wait and see. I'm gonna see if this thing continues to make villagers. If it doesn't, then I'm just gonna have to remove the top of this thing so that the doors don't have any blocks in front of them. So we'll see. I've seen hearts pop up and stuff like that. I've kind of been keeping an eye on it, but I haven't been watching it for long enough to see if it's still producing babies. So anyway, just to let you know, that might change in the future. And kind of was avoiding jumping down here. Let's see, let's go ahead and gear back up. So we've got some more stuff to do because I really want this project to be completely finished by the time this episode's over, or at least like mostly finished. How would I say that? Oh, okay. So we've got a few things to do. The first thing we have to do to get this thing completed is we've got to figure out the storage situation. It sounds like there's some more zombies down here. I've got to make a zombie-proof entrance. Holy cow. Let me see. Are there any more villagers in here yet? Hasn't been that long since I've checked, but now the entity count is 29. So I think that's a pretty good sign. This thing is probably still working. But anyway, so we've got to figure out our storage situation in here. And yeah, I'm not sure. I know that all the items are going to drop through there. So I'm going to set up some kind of hopper chain. And I'm debating the merits of doing item filtering. On the upside, it would filter out the items. On the downside, it would cause a little bit more lag, which I'm not sure if I really want to deal with, to be honest. There's already going to be a lot of hoppers, so adding in additional like redstone and things like that, I don't know if that's something I want to do, but I know I need to do that first because the placement of the chests will determine the floor design here, and of course the ceiling design as well. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get some hoppers together and kind of figure out. I think I might put the chests sort of along the sides here. I don't know how much room that's going to leave me though for item filtering, so that's kind of a question. If I did an item filtering system, it's at least 3 or 4 blocks forward, I think, maybe even more, and then that would kind of put this sort of back, whereas it might be nice to have the items be flush, I guess. But then again, if I did chests on either side of this, if I did chests on either side of that, then I don't know how I would split the items up. I don't think I could split them up in 2 directions, so to speak. So maybe I need to do something like have it off to this side, and then maybe we can just do, we'll do a staircase over here. You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do sort of like a grand staircase going downstairs. We've got the villager thing over here, and we'll have our chests over here. And then that will actually give me, oh, I've got my eye on you, creeper. That would give me a little more room to do an item filtering, item sorting. There we go, an item sorting system. So anyway, guys, let me get some materials together, and I'm just going to make the, in fact, this will probably still be exposed when I come back, just so you can see it. I'll get some hoppers in place and get some kind of item sorting system online. Alright guys, well, we've got a storage system set up, although I'm not too pleased with how aesthetically this turned out. So I've got this blocked off just for my protection. But if we kind of hop back here, whenever you walk in, it's just going to be really cramped. Now, I could probably just wall this off and do a little something over here. That's probably what I'll do. But I just didn't expect these chests to come out so much. I don't know, I guess I just forgot how long these item sorter systems are. But anyway, so what we went for here, the items are going to drop through a hole right here. And there's a water source block here. Now that should be pushing around this corner. So hopefully that's what's going to happen there. I think it is. But it's going to push the items around the corner here. And then they go, they'll meet up right here. And there's a source block here pushing them in that direction. So I don't know if you noticed. It might be kind of hard to see. Let me just pillar up here real quick. There we go. So yeah, there's some soul sand there with the water running on top of it. Now the reason for that is because sometimes items will kind of skip hoppers. It doesn't happen all the time, but if they're moving too fast, they can just kind of skip over hoppers without getting picked up. So the soul sand, the purpose of that is just to slow the items down. Now that shouldn't be an issue. They should be, from the time they get spit out of that dispenser upstairs to the time they fall down this hole, which is right here on top of us, they're really not going to be hanging out for that long. So that I don't think, like, I'm not worried about them despawning is what I'm trying to say. I am worried about how I'm going to design this room though and make it look nice. I mean, I can only really bring this staircase out so much, so that's not going to do a whole lot for us. So I don't know. The only options that I really have though, if I want to have my items sorted, which I do, is I could chop these off. That would give me one more block of space, but then that's only 2 double chests worth of storage per item. And so basically, and I'm storing all 4 of the items I expect to get, which are carrots, there we go, potatoes, wheat. Yeah, I'm not sure, but anyway, we got other stuff to do. We've got to kind of get busy here, because I can feel it, guys. We're almost done with this project, and I'm really excited. But I keep checking down here, and every once in a while the ND count kind of creeps up on where these villagers are, and I'm worried. Like, I think the breeder is still working. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. So I don't want to let too many villagers, too many more get in here without addressing it. So we've got to do some stuff down here. I'm going to start clearing out some space here. And do I have my shovel with me? I do. Very good. So I'm going to start clearing out a little bit of space down here, and basically we've got to set ourselves up a little area where we can kind of get these villagers out of that little holding cell and kind of filter through them to see like which ones we're going to use. And we have to set up a killing system. So there are 2 water source blocks on top of their heads. What I'll probably do, unless I'm going to run into the floor, will I? Oh man. Yeah, I might. Let me think. 1, 2, here. So what I might do, let's just dig up. It's not going to hurt anything. Let's just dig up and see what happens here. I think I'm going to put like a sticky piston up here somewhere. Let me see. Come on, break. And let's see. Okay, so this is the first source block. This is the second source block. So the next source block is going to be on... Yeah, oh man. Well, or I could wire it up back here. That's probably what we could do. So anyway, guys, sorry, I'm taking a second to collect my thoughts here, but basically I think I'm just going to make a drop killer. I think that'll be the easiest way to go. And so what we can do for that is, let's see, first source block, second source block. So that source block is going to be, come on, at ground level, which will be this one here. And maybe what we can do... Yeah, I can kind of hide stuff. If it's back here, I can kind of build a little wall out here, so that shouldn't be I don't think that's going to be a big deal. So what I could do is I could put a sticky piston here that pushes up against this, and basically pushes it into, I don't know, just pushes it forward into the chamber, so that way when it's powered, the villagers will just fall to their deaths on top of that one. So anyway, and then I'll just hook it up to a button somewhere over here. I don't know exactly where yet, but it's probably going to be real simple. So I'm going to do that, guys. I'm going to take a second and do that, and then I'm going to kind of fix this up a little bit. Well, I got some stuff done, guys. So we're going to head down there in just a second, but yeah, so this mob-proof door is working alright. It's working alright. As you can see, he can't get through, and even if he was, let's see if I can get him over a little bit to the left. Here, come over this way, dude. No, he's dumb. I can't even walk through this. I can walk through this, but he can't. So anyway, but I was trying to figure out, I think earlier we saw a zombie drop down from somewhere, and I can't figure out where. I thought maybe they were dropping in through the roof, but I don't know where because I've looked everywhere. It's completely sealed off, and I thought, must have been a particle or something. But anyway, so I thought, well, could they spawn on top of chests? I don't remember, so I went ahead and put a torch up there. Everything is sealed off, so they must be spawning inside the room, and it could just be the whole villager raid thing. So I'm not sure what we're going to do about that yet. We may have to put another like carpet fence thing around this staircase, or just put another one right down here so that way they can't walk in here and I don't have to stress about it. But anyway, guys, so here's the main thing I wanted to show you. I took a little bit of time and just kind of made something. It's not terribly creative. It's not god-awful. It's just kind of like plain, you know. But it'll serve our purposes for now because I don't plan, I plan on using this like for a little bit, but then we're going to get to a certain point where we're never really going to see it or use it or anything. Maybe if any of the other StreamCrafters ever want to come over here and sort out some villagers for themselves, they can. And also, perfect, there's a baby villager in there, which means that our villager breeder is still working. Let's see, do I have a stone brick? I just saw this. Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. There we go, fixed. So anyway, we got a couple of things going on. I already showed you that one. That's the villager killer. And then this one is the thing that lets me open this up so I can get them out of there with some, whoops, that was weird. So I can get them out of there with some rail tracks, and it doesn't hurt them, even though you can see it pushes them. It doesn't hurt them at all. And this is the wiring. I went ahead and sealed this off, but this is the wiring I used. The redstone just goes up through there and jumps up to that half slab, jumps up to this half slab, which powers both the top piston and the bottom piston simultaneously. So normally if I were using full blocks I'd have to just wrap that around a little bit more, but I thought it was pretty cool with the half slabs. You could just kind of compact it in a little bit more. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just start transporting some of those villagers into cells. We need 4 farmers to man our farms up there, and also 2 non-farmers that I don't want to keep for other trades. So I'm going to take a few minutes and just find the ones that I want. And whenever I get ready to start moving these guys up to the other farms up there, then I'll bring you guys back in and we'll get this thing up and running off the ground. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm in an episode of The Walking Dead, guys. So the good news is they're not spawning inside of the room anymore, but that's because I ended up breaking the doors on the artificial village up top. I have been conversing with Unary Bit over YouTube, and he's been helping me troubleshoot some of the problems I had. I did get all the villagers in place, but the carrot farm wasn't working initially, and basically the villager that I put in there, he seemed to just be pathfinding his way out. And Unary Bit told me, okay, well first of all, let me just show you this stuff. So this thing is working really well, and I've actually used several stacks of wheat, and I've got several more stacks. In fact, I'm just going to take, all of these, and do some trading here. The potato farm is working beautifully, as you can see. Let's scoop all that stuff up. There we go. But the carrot farm, these were manually harvested, so that's not quite working yet. But anyway, because of the artificial village on top, sorry if you can hear that traffic, but because of that village, basically if a villager is outside of a 32 block radius of the center of the village, but within 64 blocks, he will try to pathfind his way to the village. So that's what that guy was doing. He was supposed to be harvesting carrots, but he wasn't. And since I already had, I guess I can get rid of these. Those zombies aren't coming in. Since I already had all the villagers I wanted, I went ahead and just shut off the breeder. Oh, dang it. Alright, I'll have to fix that in a second. Let's just go dump these in here real quick so I can trade them later. As you can see, I've already got over a stack of emeralds, which is awesome. So I feel like I'm winning at the emerald trading game already. And in fact, I'll just show you some of this. This has gotten so much easier. The last time I tried it was before they made all these changes to villagers. Come on, buddy. Alright, so yeah, 17 potatoes. Let's do it. So what's cool is sometimes if we just step back, let's see if he gets the particles. He does. So I think that means that the trade will be refreshed. Let's go check. Can we do it? Yeah, that's so awesome. You used to have to go and do the latest trade or the last trade to redo it. And sometimes I do still have to do that, it seems like. So I'm not sure why. But otherwise, I can just sit here and get emeralds for absolutely days. So this is going to be game changing, guys. I am so excited about this. Alright guys, well sorry about the abrupt cut, but we are almost out of time for this video and I really want to get this project done, so we only had a couple things left to do. I did get the carrot farm fixed just now. I had to replace the villager that was trapped in the holding cell. The last one must have had food on him already, and so the farmer villager didn't want to throw food to him. But more importantly, as you can see, I did some stuff on the exterior. So I just felt like this building, it just doesn't look right all by itself in a field of grass. So I went ahead and put down, well, just a little design here, kind of alternating between andesite and stone brick, which I think is a really nice pattern. I think that goes together really well. I tried to do some of these, I've seen them before, but I don't know what to call them, but these kind of blocky trees, but it looks like it's professionally hedged or something like that. More of like a modern kind of tree, because I feel like this is a very modern build, so I thought that that would fit. I think it works out. Here's a little bench area over here, and we just have, you know, some little plants and things along the walkways, so I feel like it definitely adds a lot. I'm not totally sold on there's chisel quartz here with some slabs acting as posts for the fence, which is just iron bars. I'm not totally sold on that, but I think it looks pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like it adds a lot to the exterior here. So the only thing left to do now, guys, is we got to get this interior done in terms of the lobby area. And this is definitely going to be the hardest part. By the way, I added a little thing for this walkway here leading up to the main entrance. And I think that looks alright. It's kind of cool. And this entrance here, I just added some upside down stairs to kind of give that a little bit more shape. And a regular stair here just to give that little block shape there, which I think turned out pretty cool. So anyway guys, I'm really happy with how this thing is turning out. Alright guys, it's done. Every big project comes to an end if you just stick with it until it's finished. But this thing, I'm so proud of this, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. It's been a ridiculous amount of work, a ridiculous number of hours to get this thing finally done, and yeah, anyway, I really wanted to get this done in this episode because I didn't want it to be more than a 3-episode, wrong place, didn't want it to be more than a 3-episode project, I guess you could say, but it is done and it is working and it is awesome. So anyway, let's finally go inside here so you guys can see what it looks like. Now the only thing that's a problem is this entrance, because even with the fences, I think there were some changes to mobs in 1.8. And so like this kind of setup would have previously worked where you could have walked in but mobs couldn't, but it doesn't anymore. So that's a problem. But check this place out. I think for a lopsided room, this turned out pretty nice. I tried to keep it really modern, just because the building itself is a modern building. So we just got this little hangout spot over here, no big deal. We've got this central area, and I kind of just, I don't know, went for a little design here with some glowstone hidden underneath. The walls are a combination of the chiseled quartz and these kind of birch upside down stairs acting as sort of shelving units. Of course, we've got our drop tube for the villagers whenever we reactivate our villager breeder, which currently is deactivated. But anyway, and these little lighting fixtures just hanging down from the ceiling. I really wanted to use glass instead of trap doors, but that wasn't going to be able to work because of the 1 block gap right there. So yeah, we've got the little using glass for railing for the staircase, and of course you guys have already seen this. This just leads to the dungeon area, which looks fairly medieval compared to the top area. This area looks really nice. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm happy with how the whole thing turned out. So I do want to say a couple of things before we wrap up the episode. The first one is a big thanks to Unary Bit, because without his help, he's just a super nice guy. Not only did he design the carrot and potato farm that we used in this tower, but I had some major problems trying to get that bottom farm to work, and he helped me out with multiple comments and kind of some back and forth. So thanks a lot, Unary Bit. Also, when you guys see this, it'll be the day after Thanksgiving in the United States. So I just want to take a second and say thank you for watching the videos, and especially if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me, guys. I have a lot of fun doing this, and it's really, I don't know, I've had so much fun watching Let's Plays that I always wanted to do one myself, and it also is making me kind of take my game to the next level, and I feel like this project is really representative of that. So thank you very much, guys, for following along and hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. Again, it was a epic project, and check this out. I am gonna have to really start trading my butt off, otherwise this storage is gonna get out of hand very quickly, especially for the carrots and potatoes. But anyway, guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. May you be happy, may you be well. Until next time, take care. I'll see you later.